Episode 527 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic is now live to talk about tonight's episode of All Elite Wrestling Saturday Night Collision, featuring two big matches, one for the AEW World's Women's Championship, and the AEW World's Championship was on the line. MJF defending against Kenny Omega. We'll talk all about that and more right here, right now. 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Wrestling Fanatics. It is October 28th, 2023. I am Lance Brock, and Saturday nights are right for fighting, because tonight I will be talking all about tonight's episode of AEW Saturday Collision, and maybe at the end, whatever else I want to talk about, anything, any news going on in the world of pro wrestling today. Thank you for tuning in right here on Spreaker, YouTube, or wherever else you listen to 360 Wrestling Podcast. Just one more time, just a reminder, the newest episode of 360 Anything Goes, talking all about Halloween. It's the Halloween special, talking about Halloween specials on TV I talked about Halloween books, commercials, Halloween candy, Halloween costumes, different things like that. So if you have not heard that episode yet of Anything Goes, if you want, you can maybe please go check that out now. That'd be nice if you did. I'd appreciate it. Also, don't waste any more time. Let's get into it. Saturday nights are right for fighting. Let's talk about AEW Saturday Night Collision, which was live tonight on TNT from the Mohegan Sun Arena. And tonight's commentators, once again, Tony Schiavone, Kevin Kelly, Nigel McGuinness, and good old JR, Jim Ross, joined them for the main event. And we had a pretty good show here tonight. I just want to announce, get kicked off. Switchblade Jay White with the rest of Bullet Club Gold, Austin and Colton Gunn, and Rockhard Juice Robinson. He's taking on AR Fox. Now, it has been a little bit since we have seen AR Fox on AEW television, since he turned babyface again, since Darby Allin took him back. But he is back here on Collision tonight, taking on Jay White, and he definitely put up a fight against White tonight. Really good match, but in the end, the numbers game, and Jay White won this one. But still really good match, though. I'd have to say that I'll give this one 3 out of 5 swing bells. Really good match. And then we have the Guns sticking around in the ring for action. Austin and Colton with White and Robinson in their corner taking on the boys, being accompanied by Dalton Castle onto the stage only. But then he goes to the back, maybe back to Planet Peacock, to let them fight for themselves. And the Guns get the win, defeating the boys. Pretty good match here. I'll give that one 2.5 out of 5 ring bells. And then next up, the AEW Women's World Championship is on the line. Hikaru Shida taking on Abaddon in a fright match. There was the weapons, pumpkin garbage can lid, and kendo sticks, of course. And it was a really good match, I thought. Here had Abaddon playing the mind games, which you would expect. And really good match here. Abaddon, good to see her back on AEW TV, as I have said here on the podcast. And it is Hikaru Shida retaining to remain AEW Women's World Champion. Really good match. I'll give this one 3 out of 5 ring bells. And really good match once again. And then we have backstage once again the AEW TBS champion Chris Statlander with Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue. And they talked about how Julia Hart returned tonight, and Sky Blue says what happened between her and Julia Hart with the whole misting is between her and Julia Hart. And then we have one half of the AEW, Ring of Honor World Television Champion Samoa Joe taking on Rhett Titus to retain the World TV title. Good match here. Rhett Titus is another one we haven't really seen a whole lot of lately. Put up a good fight. Joe getting the win though. And I'll give this one 3 out of 5 ring bells. Pretty good match. Also, one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Absolute Ricky Starks, with his partner Big Bill in his corner. He takes on one half of FTR, Dax Harwood, with his partner Cash Wheeler. And these two have a pretty good match. Ricky Starks getting the win. And after the match, we see Andrade make his return. Or not Andrade. Yes, Andrade and Roosh, Preston Vance make their return. And I think Jose the Intern was there too as well. And then representing the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli taking on Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Good match. I'll give it 2 out of 5. 2.5 out of 5 ring bells. Castagnoli getting the win. And it is confirmed that the American Dragon Bryan Danielson has suffered a broken orbital bone, and as of right now, that is not a shield like some people have thought it was. It's legit, which is not the first time. Bryan Danielson is actually pretty famous for wrestling a match with a broken orbital bone. And hopefully, I just want to send him a speedy recovery. I'm sure he will be back soon. And the main event of Collision for tonight, the AEW World Championship, is on the line. The AEW World Champion and one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, taking on the legend known as Kenny Omega. Let me just say this. I talked about this on Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Talked about the reffing rant from Jimmy Corderas. How he talked about this match being definitely great match quality, pay-per-view match quality, but there wasn't any build to it. And it would have been much better if there was build to this match. And he might be right about that. If this match was built, even on TV, if this had about a month or two to build and get people excited about it, yeah, it would have been even better than it was. But with that being said, it was still a great match tonight, a great main event. Gonna go ahead, 5 out of 5 ring bells for this one. Collision main event tonight. Awesome match between MJF and Kenny Omega. If for some reason you missed either the whole show of Collision or just the main event, I definitely recommend going back, checking this out. Awesome match tonight. MJF and Kenny Omega. And it was kind of predictable that the title wouldn't change hands tonight, because Full Gear is coming up in just a couple weeks or so. And MJF is defending against Jay White. We already know that, but still, really good match. And MJF did retain, of course. And speaking of, and that was AEW Collision tonight. Great show. Once again, I definitely recommend you checking it out if you missed it. Overall, I'll give it 9 out of 10 ring bells. Overall, as one show. And speaking of AEW Full Gear, that is coming up in just a couple weeks. And 2 weeks from today is WWE Crown Jewel, live from Saudi Arabia, here on Peacock and the WWE Network everywhere else. We found out last night on Friday Night SmackDown on FS1 that John Cena will be taking on Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns defending the WWE Universal Championship against L.A. Knight. Yeah, even though I did notice last night, and this might not mean anything, but I did notice that L.A. Knight during the press conference, or the contract signing, I should say, that he called it the WWE Championship, not the Undisputed Universal Championship. Like I said, I may be reading into that a little too much, and it might not mean anything, but I just wanted to mention that I did see that or hear that last night on SmackDown. And Impact Wrestling They are currently on their latest United Kingdom tour. I don't know if any of the shows actually have happened yet, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers, don't worry. But Impact Wrestling has signed UK talent Leon Slater to a contract during one of the live events. And Ronda Rousey is making another independent wrestling date. She showed up for Lucha Vavoom. Now in November, she'll be showing up for Pro Wrestling Revolver. And that is it for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And if you have any questions, comments, you can leave your feedback, your opinions on tonight's episode of AEW Saturday Collision right here in the comments on Spreaker or YouTube or whichever podcast app or website you listen to the podcast on. Also, remember 360 Anything Goes, episode 12. The Halloween special, you could go and listen to that now, please. Download it, leave a comment, click a like, share it. All that good, nice stuff if you want to, but if you don't want to, that's good too. I definitely won't be mad at you. You're my friend, listener. And remember, tomorrow's Sunday. Probably won't be here Sunday night for an episode. Unless I decide, hey, I want to do an episode 360 Wrestling Fanatic just to talk about pro wrestling. But who knows. And Tuesday, I'm sure I will be on for special Halloween episodes and stuff. And tomorrow morning, the Sunday morning episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Once again, thank you everyone for tuning in to 360 Wrestling Fanatic tonight. I appreciate you all listening and hope everyone has a great Saturday night, early Sunday morning. And until tomorrow morning for GMWF, when I talk to you then, have a great pro wrestling night. Or, no wait, I don't say that, do I? Well, yeah, I said it. I am Lance and I am a wrestling fanatic.